Mystery at Blind Frog Ranch. Episode 6 of Mystery at Blind Frog Ranch arrives with a solemn promise of answers. After weeks of speculation, secrets, cave-ins, and strange readings beneath the Utah desert, the Ollingers and their team ventured deeper than ever before. The season has been built on tension, the possibility of hidden treasure, unexplained natural anomalies, and the lingering sense that the land itself shifts under their boots. Episode 6 seeks to provide clarity, yet as Blind Frog Ranch often proves, every answer seems to birth a fresh riddle. The episode opens with the ranch bracing for another storm system, skies heavy and mottled like hammered metal. The terrain appears almost alive, pools reflecting the low clouds, reeds bending sharply, as if pointing warnings toward the tunnels below. Nature has always played a dual role at Blind Frog Ranch, by turns offering guidance and obstruction. Episode 6 leans heavily into this contrast, portraying the rugged beauty of the ranch as both guardian and adversary. The crew's focus narrows on the primary cavern system beneath the property. Previous episodes hinted at sealed chambers and pockets of pressurized air, phenomena that suggested someone, at some time, tampered with the environment below. This episode intensifies that theme, turning the underground world into a labyrinth of unknown design. The team returns to the main borehole, now more fortified with rigging and sensors, prepared to send equipment farther than before. Their intent: uncover evidence of human alteration or possibly the presence of long-lost catches. As the camera follows their progress, the textures of the cavern walls tell an unsettling story. Certain surfaces appear smoother, as if shaped deliberately. Others display jagged, unnatural breaks resembling old tool strikes. Although the team cannot pinpoint a specific culture or time period, they agree that Blind Frog Ranch's subterranean network is anything but accidental. Natural caves rarely form in such patterned layers, and the episode emphasizes the subtle geometry hidden within the stone. The most compelling visual of the episode comes during the descent of a new drone system designed to navigate narrow caverns. Its lights reveal a chamber more angular than expected, a structural shape that evokes the image of a man-made enclosure rather than a purely geological one. The drone's camera vibrates, flickering as if disturbed by unseen interference. The feed stabilizes long enough to present viewers with a shadowed recess at the chamber's far end. Something glints there, a texture, a surface, or a metallic shape. The team debates its significance, convincing themselves that this moment may represent the discovery they've been chasing. But Blind Frog Ranch, in typical fashion, does not give up its secrets without resistance. The drone malfunctions abruptly, tumbling into a crevice. The feed snaps to static, shifting the tone of the episode from discovery to urgency. The team now faces a dilemma. Retrieving the equipment means physically entering a part of the cavern system previously deemed unsafe. The decision weighs heavily through the episode, shaping its mood with a sense of inevitability. While the underground expedition dominates Episode 6, the surface-level research continues. Samples extracted earlier undergo detailed testing. Soil cores reveal unusual mineral patterns inconsistent with typical regional geology. Certain compounds found on the ranch suggest long-term exposure to refined materials, an anomaly given the absence of industrial operations in the area's known history. This supports the idea that the ranch has been visited, or used, by unknown parties long before modern ownership. Even more intriguing is the discovery of a substance embedded in the sediment that appears to be metallic yet soft, a quality associated with processed alloys rather than natural formations. The episode frames this as a tantalizing clue, hinting that whoever sealed the caverns may have been working with advanced metallurgical tools or materials uncommon for early settlers. Though the show avoids definitive conclusions, it presents these lab findings as the most concrete evidence to date that the underground structures house something beyond simple geological curiosities. As research unfolds on the surface, the tension underground builds toward a pivotal moment. With reinforcement ropes and a narrow safety plan, members of the team descend through a widened section of the borehole to retrieve the drone. The atmosphere grows colder and damper the farther they go. Condensation beads on headlamps and tools, catching the light like miniature crystals. Sounds echo strangely, as though the cavern carries its own pulse. The first chamber appears much as they remember it. Jagged, uneven, carved by both water and something else. The air feels heavier, humid with age. After maneuvering across loose stone and anchoring their lines, the team locates the drone perched precariously atop a narrow ledge, its casing dented but partially functional. The retrieval is tense but successful. What matters now is the last footage collected before the fall. Back on the surface, technicians recover fragments of the data. The restored video plays like a delayed revelation. The drone had captured a clearer view of the glinting object seen earlier, a shape partially embedded in the mineral sediment. It appears rectangular, with defined edges and traces of corrosion. The team speculates whether it could be a container or a metallic device of unknown origin. Every frame fuels new theories, none conclusive. What stands out most, however, is the strange pattern visible on the chamber wall. As the drone rotated, its lights swept across symbols or markings etched faintly into the stone. These markings seem too deliberate to be natural and too weathered to be modern. The episode dedicates significant attention to these carvings, framing them as potentially the answer to many of the ranch's long-standing mysteries. In an effort to analyze the markings, the team sends the enhanced footage to external experts. Several hypotheses arise. One proposes that the markings resemble rudimentary cartographic symbols, possibly representing waterways or boundaries. Another suggests they could be linked to indigenous tribes who used subterranean spaces for ceremonial purposes. Yet none of the theories fit perfectly. The markings appear older than known local artifacts, and their style does not align with typical cultural designs. The episode cleverly avoids drawing conclusions, instead positioning these discoveries as an invitation to further inquiry. For every impression of progress, Blind Frog Ranch reveals additional complexity. The markings deepen the lore, implying that the land may have been a point of interest for multiple groups across different eras, each leaving fragments of their presence behind. Alongside the scientific analysis, Episode 6 continues to explore the emotional investment of the ranch team. Though no dialogue is used here in this creative retelling, the weight of their expressions is emphasized. Determination etched in their movements, concern in the way they assess risks, and cautious optimism threading through their reactions to new findings. Blind Frog Ranch demands not just curiosity but perseverance. Their resolve appears unshaken even as they confront hazards both environmental and structural. One of the most compelling cinematic moments of the episode is the cross-cutting between the cavern's deep stillness and the rising storm above. Lightning illuminates the ranch in stark flashes while below, the light from headlamps glides across ancient surfaces. The imagery underscores a thematic duality: the violent unpredictability of nature against the frozen mysteries hidden beneath it. As the episode nears its conclusion, the team compiles all collected evidence: lab results pointing toward processed materials, drone footage revealing potentially man-made structures, and the enigmatic markings carved into subterranean walls. Each piece forms part of a puzzle that is slowly, almost reluctantly, assembling itself. The answers delivered in Episode 6 feel less like final revelations and more like signposts guiding the team toward the next frontier. The closing act presents a final twist. A new reading comes through one of the sensors placed near the borehole, an anomalous energy spike consistent with previous unexplained events on the ranch. The spike is stronger this time, sharper and more localized, hinting at activity within the sealed chamber. The episode leaves viewers with a sense of charged anticipation, suggesting that whatever lies beneath Blind Frog Ranch is not dormant but reactive. In the creative retelling here, the episode's brilliance lies in its balance. It promises answers and delivers some, proof of human, or at least intelligent, intervention underground, physical markings that point toward historical significance, and material samples that defy simple explanation. Yet, as with all good mysteries, it ensures that each answer acts as a hinge point for a deeper question. Episode 6 concludes without closure, but with purpose. Blind Frog Ranch remains an enigma layered with history, geology, and perhaps even something more. The land speaks through cracks in the cavern walls, through unexpected metallic traces, through symbols carved by hands unknown. The team stands at the edge of discovery, armed with information, but overshadowed by the vastness of what remains hidden.